You're listening to the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another fantastic, wonderful metal episode of Hangin with the Hitman. I'm Todd Gilbert.
I'm Brett Ford, the Hitman.
And today we're going to be talking all about the legendary, the mighty Metallica. That's the best metal voice I have. Yeah! There you go. James.
Yeah, that's good.
The idea sprouted by the new Metallica album dropping 72 Seasons, came out last week at the time of this recording. We both have listened to it a lot, and we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to do something controversial here on today's episode. We are going to rank the Metallica albums. Now, I'm only going to say this once. It's our personal preferences. This isn't saying that any of the albums are garbage. This isn't saying that our opinion is fact. It's just what we prefer. And that will be later after we talk about the new album. And then we're going to go through each album and talk about why we think the album deserves to be the spot we think it's in. Things we love about those albums, things we don't, etc. But
ETC ...
Right. So first up, though, last Friday was a big day for metal fans everywhere, except for me because Walmart didn't have the record on release day. But thanks to the wonders of Apple Music that a certain person got for me, I was able to listen to it in the car a lot. And man, I gotta say, when the album kicked off, and the first song, I got to pull the record out because, I'm terrible with titles.
I know, I was going to tell you that.
So kicking off with the title track of 72 Seasons, and it just goes right for the throat, right at the beginning. It's very, very heavy, very fast, very, very aggressive. And what I really like about this record is that it's groove metal. It's not just thrashy, speedy, whatever. There are songs that James will be playing this riff and Lars will just sit back in the groove for a minute and just hold that in. And any musicians or big music fans will know what I mean. It's a groove that makes you make that stink face when you're like, is it just going, And I really, really dug that a lot.
I do too. That's where I've told you this before. I don't like thrash metal so much.
Same.
And as they've gotten older, if they've gotten more into the groove or whatever, and just slowed their stuff down a little bit, I'm fine with that. I mean, thrashing is cool. And if you still got it, you can do it. Go do that on stage and cool and stuff. But I like a lot of these songs because they're groove, like you said, they're groove heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
The riff heavy, the groove and riff, riff too. Also, a lot of riffs.
Now, Metallica, they did literally invent a style. I mean, thrash metal was pioneered by Metallica. Metallica. Yes. And then right along them, we get Slayer and Anthrax and Megadeth. They did a tour called the Big Four. As they're the big four of thrash and heavy metal. But yeah, as Metallica got older and became better writers and, just learned more new tricks, their music evolved too. And that's one thing I love is that Metallica never phones it in. They're not afraid to try stuff. As the Lou Reed album demonstrated. Now that's not on our list for later because that's technically not a Metallica album. But
right.
But I love that they try new things and that you know, the audience gets to grow with them. I think that's really cool.
That's what we were talking about this. See, here's what we did for the week. Gave the assignment.
Yeah.
I said, let's listen to every one of the Metallica albums so we can talk about them.
In chronological order.
Talk about.
In order.
We had to do them in chronological order. When you do it that way, almost like, not unlike some of the characters in some of our Marvel comics and whatnot, if you go in certain orders, you get different results. In this one, you go in the order of their releases, and you can actually see them mature musically, lyrically, definitely musically for sure. Yeah. Production wise, sometimes they take a step back, but production wise, it seems to be getting better too. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they start out as a bunch of young kids that are just kind of still learning what they're doing, Yeah. And I apologize if my face is a little dark. It's later than we normally record, and I don't want to get the big light out to put on my face. But but yeah.
Unfortunately, my light's really bright.
I mean, hey, you don't have to have fancy lighting for you. You just turn it on. It must be nice.
Turn it on. I'm under a light, actually.
Turn it on again. Anyway.
No, I'm under a light like I'm being, like interrogated.
Or abducted by aliens.
Either or. Right.
Why not both? No.
Why not?
So for me, I really enjoyed the record. I think it's cool. I have certain songs that I just love, and I know it was the first single and all that, but Lux Eterna, that song just rips. That is such a jam with the double bass and very it's got some Judas Priest elements to it. It's got some Diamond Head influences, stuff it's got some really cool Metallica harkening back to their influences, which I think was really cool. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I could feel that too. There's a couple before we started doing this, I was recapping,
Same.
and so there was one song and I can't remember because I don't have the physical copy. I do have a burned CD, which in the CD player that I'm playing it through actually tells the titles. So I know it that way, but I can't really play it and copyright and all that. We're not gonna do that. But there was one song on there kind of towards the endish middle, maybe 3/4 done, maybe. They hark back to an older style, almost like a.
Are you talking about the one where the one where his voice gets super high?
Well, he did that, but I mean, this one almost could have been an Unforgiven 4 at the beginning. I'm no. You know what I mean? I can't remember. I don't remember what it was called, but
hold on. Room of Mirrors. Room of Mirrors.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That's a great one. Mm-hmm. That is a great song. And every song has a music video, which is fun. You can go on YouTube and watch a video for every song.
That I did not know. Thanks for letting me know in advance. In advance, but not.
Well, I just found it out myself. But yeah, I finished. So I'm going to give it, I'm going to give it a positive thumbs up. I don't like to do rankings 4 out of 5, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It always changes for me,
Yeah, it does. It does.
Just like the list.
Do some of this review out. Yeah.
Just like the list you're fine. Just like the list we have right now. It's what it is right now, but it might change.
That's what I was going to say. Cause like I said, us going through this week, I'm like, God, that album wasn't as terrible as I remember it to be. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, I see something else that I thought was going to sound really cool. And I'm like, oh, that didn't date that good. That wasn't a well-dated sound right there. So yeah, I mean, it's going to always change. This week is something different than what it will be next week for sure.
Right. And what we had to do for the list is we had to take certain factors out. Meaning we have to remove historical significance from the ranking system. Because if you don't do that, you're going to put albums in spots based on what they mean, not what they are. Does that make sense?
think I'm following you there.
Like, oh, this is the first album that they did this, so it's got to be ranked high. Well, not necessarily.
This is where they cut their hair. This is the one where they cut their hair, man.
We'll get to that. Well, I got opinions on that. But so yeah, we definitely recommend going out and checking out the new record. Stream it if you don't like, supporting music. Or go to the store and buy it like Brett and I do. We like to buy things.
Yeah.
We support artists by buying their things. If you look at the video that we're watching, if you're watching the videos, behind me and behind Brett, you'll see a lot of records and CDs and stuff because we support. Anyway, so moving on to the controversial part of this episode. So,
all right,
when we were going through listening to all the songs, and what I did is when I did the rough draft, I wrote down every album, and I also thought, okay, what qualifies as a studio album? Because if you go into live albums and stuff like that, you're going to be here all day. So I went with just studio albums. Now, the only exception I made was Garage Inc., because while it's not it's not original Metallica songs, it's a studio record. It's not a live record. It's, it's newly recorded stuff. And songs. So, So I went through and I listed them all. And as I'm listening to the songs, I'm moving the albums around, And what we're going to do is we're going to go from bottom to top. So worst to best. And I can already tell you that the Metallica hipsters are going to hate this list. Because Kill 'Em All is not one of the top three, and everything with Cliff Burton isn't the top three. And before we do the list, I do want to talk about this for a hot second. There's a weird camp of Metallica fans that basically think Metallica hasn't done anything good since Cliff Burton died. I can't roll with that. I can't get on board with that. I don't believe that. I don't think it's accurate. I really think that the musicianship is what matters the most when I look at this stuff and the quality of songs and stuff. And they didn't even have a radio single until after Cliff was gone. Now, I'm not saying that that's the qualification of a good song, but for me, becoming popular and mainstream in the conscious of everybody means you're doing something right. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But also, Metallica, they, even after that, after Jason passed, it was in the band, and then after he left, and they've gone back and made thrash metal albums again. And no matter what they do, the Metallica hipsters aren't going to be happy about it. And nothing you can do can satisfy them. They want every album to be Master of Puppets, and it's just why? What's the point? Like, if you don't grow, you're going to fade away because you're going to only appeal to a niche audience, and you're not going to apply to the masses. Thus, you're not going to sell records. Thus, your band is going to go away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I know that listen though. Well, yes, I do. And I just thought of this point, and I don't even know if this is a valid point, but let's say that's true. But if it wasn't for that, and like we said earlier, how they invented a genre, how is somebody going to invent a genre if they don't just do what they do and not conform?
Right.
And have people try to catch on, catch on before. Yeah, go ahead.
But see, I don't think they ever conformed, though. I don't think think other albums were them going, well, we need to appeal to people, so we better start playing it different. I think they
They're
grew.
Just growing, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they did this weird thing, like getting a producer. Weird, and then bass started being audible on records. It's crazy. But, I honestly think they just became better songwriters. I really do. And that's not to say Master of Puppets isn't a great record. We'll get to that. But going back to the list, So number 10 was my hardest one because it flips between two albums all the time. One everybody's going to agree with, one nobody's going to agree with, of the diehards or what have you. And I landed on this is number 10, but number 9 is the one that you think number 10 should probably be. For me, number 10 is Kill 'Em All. And I know yes, as you can see, Brett's holding it up there. Thank you. Visual aids, man, they're helpful. I know what you're thinking. Blasphemy. The birth of thrash metal, the, Seek and Destroy, No Remorse, the Four Horsemen, Jump in the Fire.
Jump in the Fire solo. Jump in the Fire solo. Come on, man.
No, that solo is great. There are good songs. And again, none of these albums I'm saying they suck.
I know. I'm just making a little more drama. I'm putting a little more drama in.
Oh, no, you're fine. They're my least favorite of my favorites. You know what I mean?
I get it. I know what you're saying.
Because U2 and Metallica are my favorite bands. I love every album in one way or another. Yeah. But I really struggled getting through Kill 'Em All because it's so high-endy. Like, the mix is terrible. It's a horrible mix. James is out of tune on a few songs, and like when the guitar solos came in on a couple of songs, it almost hurt my ears. And I know I'm sounding like a 90-year-old man now, but like,
no, I know what you're saying.
It was abrasive and just I didn't care for it, and my cat won't shut up. I didn't care for
the way that I listened to it myself. This was probably what we started like Sunday night or Monday or something like that, right?
Right.
Did we start Monday saying that? So I put on Kill 'Em All, and thank God, I don't even know. I hope that it made a difference. I put my stereo over here on studio mix.
Yeah.
Which means like, hopefully there'll be a lot of instruments and not just a lot of tinny things going on. Plus, I had the remaster. I'm holding up the remaster of it because I don't have all the remasters, which kind of bums me out. But anyway, so I'm listening. I'm like, okay, I like, I have never really heard it in the remastered form to have so many elements that you really never heard before, like bass. That really wasn't on this album. I'm not going to say that one. I'm not going to. Let's just skip what I just said about that one. But I don't know. See, we've kind of made this conjoined list, and I don't know if I even have a list. I don't even know how I could do that because,
but
like you said,
I got your back, bro. I got your back.
Okay, so I'm gonna follow you.
I got your
Uncle
back.
Cracker said.
Don't do it.
He didn't say that part. He didn't say that part, but the first part he said.
Don't do what Uncle Cracker says. Don't ever do what Uncle Cracker says. Don't do that.
Don't follow him, Chad.
No. So, so after Kill 'Em All, now, it's a poorly produced record. The mix is terrible. And you're not going to tell me that the lyrics on Kill 'Em All are great. They're not. Got the Metal Madness, gonna kick some ass tonight, no life till leather, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it. But also, there are teenagers screaming into microphones playing super fast. Now,
we gotta know that they're in their late teens and early 20s, weren't they, around that time?
Yeah. Okay. So we leave number 10, Kill 'Em All. I could talk about that all day. We don't want to get too deep in a rabbit hole there. Number 9 on the list, Saint Anger.
Okay.
Now that's the one everybody thinks should be number 10. Saint Anger has the most haters out of every album because Lars turned off the snare on his snare drum. And
that's what I was going to say.
And there's no guitar solos. But
I forgot about that part.
But I argue it's a little better because it plays again into that experimentation we were talking about. Yeah. And the fearlessness of trying new things. And there are some good songs on the record. I love some of my favorites. I loved Frantic. I thought that song was awesome. Shoot Me Again is a great song. Unnamed Feeling is my favorite song on the whole album. Now,
oh yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Now,
me too.
just like Kill 'Em All, though, there's a lot of stinkers. So that's why I fluctuate between the two, because they both kind of, but for now, that's number 9 for me.
I'm holding up Saint Anger to show people which one he's talking about.
Number 11, I mean. So Kill 'Em All is number 12.
Okay.
I can math. Saint Anger is number 11.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you're doing 10 or 12. So you're
12.
You're doing the 12.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I got you.
Coming in at number 10, Reload.
Oh.
My reasoning being, now, the first 4 songs on Reload, Fuel.
Holding it up.
Right, look at the track list. Make sure, check my math here. The first 4 songs.
Okay, I got you.
Of Fuel.
Yes.
Memory Remains.
Fire.
Memory Remains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. I got this. Fuel, Memory Remains.
I know you do.
Carpe Diem? No. No. What's number 3?
That's the way that Devil's Dance.
Devil's Dance, yes. And then number 4?
The Unforgiven 2.
Unforgiven 2. And then after those 4, Carpe Diem Baby is awesome, but the rest of the songs seem like a bunch of B-sides left off a load.
Okay, so here, yes. Like I said before, like I've said it with many other groups and artists, like sometimes they put out albums really close. They feel like they should have been good, really good. Take out a couple of those and make it a really good defined double, album or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I was saying, number 1, I don't know why, but I'm always a sucker for The Unforgiven, all 3 of them. I don't know why that is, but I am. And number 2 is on here. But see, here's what I was talking about earlier when I was saying that some songs that just didn't hold up to me. Mm-hmm. When I remember getting this album, one of my favorite songs on this album was a song called Better Than You.
Oh, man.
And I remember, I remember really liking it, and then when I was listening to it, Wednesday, Thursday, I don't know. Every day just kind of blended. It was Metallica every day, so I don't know.
Right.
But it just didn't hold up as much to me for some reason.
Yeah.
I didn't feel. Maybe it's just me, or maybe I just wasn't in the mood for that. People have issues sometimes. So maybe it was just me. But when I listened to it, I was just like, I thought I liked that better than that.
I'm with you there. And Reload, yeah, you're right. The 2, and we'll get to the other one in a minute because it's not next yet, but they could have been a double album. But that's why Reload for me is next on that list, because after those 5 songs are slam dunk awesome. I even love the second Unforgiven. I'm one of those guys. But the other songs, meh. So number 9, Garage Inc.
Oh, okay.
Now, all right. Garage Inc. I put lower for a couple reasons. Great record, first of all. Yeah. Now, what Garage Inc. is, it's a compilation of the original Garage Days. There it is. Brett's holding it up right there for those watching on the video. Is that regular or revisited? Did it say?
Yeah, it's the Revisited.
No, Revisited is great because Revisited has extra songs. So Garage Inc. is Garage Days Revisited plus a second disc of all new covers. Now,
look, this is a different one. That's
the original Garage Days.
One that I just showed you.
Yep.
Is it? Okay, because it's a real label and everything. I got it when I worked at the record store. It's on Mercury and everything.
They were all real. They weren't bootlegs.
I got some bootlegs. There's some bootlegs. I think they were bootlegs. I really do.
But
there's a lot of bootlegs on them garage going around.
Oh yeah. So the second disc. Now the first disc is great. The original stuff. Their version of Stone Cold Crazy, I think, is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? Am I Evil? Is awesome. Mm-hmm. There's some great stuff. And then disc 2, their version of Turn the Page, I like better than the original. Not saying the original sucks. The original is an amazing song. I'm just joking. What Metallica did with it, I just love it. And their version of Whiskey in the Jar And
that's what I was just going to say. Yep.
Their Skinnerd cover, Tuesday's Gone with John Popper on harmonica. Like, come on, it's awesome. So, that, but also they aren't breaking any new ground, which is why it's not higher on the list. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
Number 8.
Yes.
Load.
All right. This I have to show it. I am showing it to the public.
Yes, there it is. The mix of blood and something that comes out of a dude on that album cover.
Yep, other stuff.
Now, this album was controversial in many ways. Mostly in the sense that for some reason Metallica cutting their hair means they're sellouts. Now, anybody that's ever had long hair will tell you maintaining long hair sucks. They're in their probably mid to late 30s at this point. And
probably,
they're like, you know what? Let's just not. And like the length of hair doesn't matter. But also the reason that Load is a little lower on the list but above Reload is it suffers from the same thing that Reload does. But
what's that?
It has a lot more so for me, once you get through the 7 tunes, you got Ain't My Bitch, 2x4, How's the Jack Built, Until It Sleeps, King Nothing.
Yes.
Hero of the Day, The Cure.
Hero of the Day.
Yep. Then The Cure, then Bleeding Me. And then what's after that?
No, Bleeding Me, then The Cure.
Then The Cure, yes. But then
Poor Twisted Me.
You get into crap like Ronnie and Poor Twisted Me and
but Mama Said was pretty good.
But Mama Said is great. Yeah. And Outlaw Torn, which is the last song on the album, is amazing.
Is that slow one? It has almost has like a Western, almost like Bon Jovi doing kind of thing. Wasn't that kind of, was that the one?
Yeah.
See, I forgot all about that when I listened to it last time. I'm like,
Also,
I like that kind of Metallica.
Yeah. All the guitar solos all the guitar solos on that song are James. All of them.
Cool.
He is a very underrated guitar player. His stuff is great. But yes, that's Load went higher than Reload because while it suffers from the same thing Load does, while it has some filler stuff, it is a way better record. And when Load came out, I listened to that bad boy front to back for a long time. And honestly, when we were listening through the discography again, it was my favorite re-listen. Because all the songs that I loved on it are just still so wonderful to listen to.
Yes. It's like there's so many good songs in a row on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kind of like another one that will come up way earlier, I'm sure.
Yep.
Or later, I mean.
Yep.
But, like the first, they put the track listing, I am showing like how they did the track listing on the CD. Almost like a side A and side B. Yeah, I feel like it's like a side A, side B, and I feel like the side A has got like all the jams.
Yeah, side A is a slam dunk. Yeah.
Yes.
Now is it thrash fast metal? No, but I love it.
They called it something. They called it something. I read about it yesterday as I was trying to read about things. They called it. They wanted to. It was more blues. They called it
blues metal.
They went. Well, they didn't call it blues metal, but they were trying to go more with the blues style on these albums.
I thought it was great.
I mean, that's what
because it still sounds like them.
Those 2 albums right there, though, along with the album that came right before the one we're talking about, all was a time period where I thought all their songs are cool. They're all good.
Yeah,
I thought that groove metal or what we're calling it, it's whatever we're calling now, but the first one a little more metal, the one we're talking about, that it's so dark, it's whatever. But the Lows, I feel like, are very almost like radio friendly because they're not really, they're melodies and there's like some beats going on there for a minute. It's almost like, damn, Lars is almost keeping a 4/4 through the whole song. Yeah, 4 on the floor for the whole song. That's not Metallica, but that was kind of cool.
And it worked. Cool. Yeah.
It did. Yes, it did.
Next up, number 7 on the list, the new album, 72 Seasons.
Okay. I don't have a copy.
Because hold on, I got you. For those watching at home, I got you. There it is.
I'm gonna probably get the CD. I know. I'm a sucker.
I got the Walmart yellow with black swirl. It's fun, but
nice.
Because while I really enjoy it, I didn't put it as high as these next ones because while the songs have some great songs, there's not a lot of catchy hooks that I could sing you from the record. And that's not saying the record's bad. The record, I love it. I like it. I listen to it. I like it. But it's very indulgent at times as far as like the very last track on it, which I always get the name wrong, is
I know.
Enamorada, I think is how you say it. It's the longest Metallica song ever. It literally. It's awesome, but man, does it take a minute.
How long is it?
Over 11 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And again, 72 Seasons, I like the record. But I would not put it as high as this next one, number 6, And Justice for All.
Mm-hmm.
Now, And Justice for All, now let me preface it with this. Yes, there she is. For all you super Metallica nerds out there, that's Doris on the cover there.
That is?
It is not Lady Justice. Her name is Doris. The Pop Vinyl Company screwed that up. So the reason this album isn't higher, and it would be, is there's no bass guitar.
Yes.
Where's the bass, James Hetfield?
Yeah. I did want to.
This is what happens when you let a guitar player and a drummer produce your record. That's what happens.
I wanted to say something a couple albums ago, and I forgot to say it, so I just got to slip this in there because it kind of what we're talking about right here, right?
Yeah.
There's no bass on here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Saint Anger would have been so much better if somebody would have told Lars to just put the spring up. Put the spring up. That's all you got to do. Put the spring up on the snare. Make it like pop a little more. I don't know. Because you're talking like, are they trying to do like cake songs or something, or what are they?
Or Tool?
Yeah,
like
Tool
it's funny. Somebody
sure.
made versions.
Time.
Yeah. So there is a second disc that came with that album, and it's them playing all the songs live, and he has the snare on, and they sound so much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Justice
Why every
for All,
song though? Why every song?
I don't know.
On that, why every song?
Experimenting.
We'll move on. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. And Justice for All, you get great songs like Blackened, Harvester of Sorrow, the Shortest Straw, One, which was their very first music video, their biggest breakout.
That was their breakout.
Yeah, and one of the best music videos. Dyer's Eve, there's some wonderful, great songs, and it's great, and it's very progressive, very prog metal, which was a little different for them. They knocked on it with a different album that we'll get to later, but it's a great record, but the lack of bass guitar and the kind of crappy production in that respect knocked it down a couple pegs for me. I really would have loved to hear Jason more, and if you want to hear what it would sound like with bass, on YouTube, somebody got the stems from the album because they did a Guitar Hero and Rock Band and stuff, and all the songs from Justice for All were done on it, and they made a new mix with Jason's bass, and it sounds awesome. They renamed it to Injustice for Jason.
That's cool. That's cool. So are you saying that your chart, the listing on the where it's at on the chart, would this be higher if the bass was in there and the production was better?
I think so, yeah.
I'm really surprised that this album really, though, I'm still holding up Metallica's Injustice for All, was, mixed by Steve Thompson and Michael Barbier. I know how to say this now, I can't. Barbiero? Yeah, that's how it is. Okay. Barbiero. Those two guys are very well known, along with the other ones that we know of with the Steve L. That guy that you're talking about, that that Steve Alge or whatever his name is. I can't
Talking
remember
about
his
Chris
name.
Lord Algae?
Yeah, but is there a Steve too? Or no, there's a Steve Lillywhite.
No, Steve Lillywhite, yeah.
Yeah. But so what I was saying was that these guys that mixed this album, that's what I'm surprised about, because they're not known for that. I don't know why there's no talk about them, because they're the one that mixed the album. Maybe they were told to mix it like that on purpose or whatever, but
yeah,
this would be such a better album if you could hear bass. I agree,
yeah. Next up, number 5, Hardwired to Self-Destruct.
Okay. I'm lifting it up and showing the weird cover.
That's not the cover. There you go. Yeah. A lot of Metallica fans, again. Oh, you got it closed weird. A lot of Metallica fans crap on this one too, but there you go. But
yes,
there's some great songs that I still listen to this album a lot. Halo on Fire is great. Atlas Rise, Man Unkind, Am I Savage? There's some really, really, really great metal in here. But again, groove metal, and it's really well done. It's really good.
I really felt like this one was kind of like a Heartback. Who produces Bob Rock? Did Bob Rock do this?
No, Greg Feidelman.
Oh, I don't know who that guy is.
He was Rick Rubin's engineer / mixer.
Okay, you can tell. Yep. So why is it? Do they both come up to be too long for just one CD? Because this is 2 CDs. Okay.
Hardwire is pretty lengthy.
Because they're only, I think they said they're 35. Well, the one I was looking at was 35. If they're 40 a piece, then they'll still be able to fit, because they can fit up to 80 minutes on a disc these days.
On a CD, yeah.
But maybe not even back then.
But at that point, they divide them evenly, so it's not 12 songs on one disc and 2 on the other,
Right. The only reason I say this, the reason I'm bringing this up, I know it's a very futile, little stupid kind of a thing, but I almost felt like how the only thing that you hate about records is having to get up and flip it over and do all the work to go listen to more music. I like to, now we've been, pampered and such throughout the CD generation, that we can listen to a whole album in its entirety in one sitting. And so I didn't like that part. That's the only, that has nothing to do with the music. I just thought that was irritating. I'm like, oh man, I got to listen to the other half, and I had to get up out of my chair and go put the other one on. But the music, that's what's important. I'm trying to think of someone that I really liked. Was there another country-ish one on this one?
No.
Almost like a slow.
No, that's in a couple albums, but no.
Like an Unforgiven kind of thing on here?
No. That's in a couple albums.
I know, but I don't know, because I listened to this one last night, but I also listened to 2 or 3 other ones. So it's confusing.
Number 4. We're up to the top 4 now. We're on the top 4. Yes. Next up, number 4, Ride the Lightning.
I was wrong. Okay. Ride the Lightning.
I love the intro riff to Ride the Lightning. There's that album is such a different album than Kill 'Em All in all the best ways. There's choruses. That's a weird thing. But you have great songs like Ride the Lightning and For Whom the Bell Tolls, Creeping Death, Fade to Black, Call of Cthulhu.
Fade to Black.
Yeah, there's so many great songs, and the mix is good. James is starting to sing now, and it's just a great record. Trapped Under Ice, this album, along with the next, all the rest of them, I love every song.
Yeah.
Every song's great.
Too.
Every song's great.
I think I would have put this at 3 if we're looking at what we have left. But this is, I'm going to go with you. Because at this point, it really don't matter, because they're all pretty good here at the end here. So in the last quarter or whatever we're at.
So number 3, Produced by the legendary Rick Rubin, mixed by Greg Feidelman, who then went on to produce their next two albums, Death Magnetic.
I really liked this one. When this came out, I really did.
Yeah. Like,
I really did.
Saint Anger was before this, and everybody was like, well, that's the end of Metallica. They're not metal anymore. Yeah. Well, so much for our favorite band. And then they come out swinging with Death Magnetic. And for me,
Rick Rubin.
Oh, go ahead.
Rick Rubin is perfect for producing for them. Because if you want that real metal, because he did a lot of Slayer stuff. He was a producer for Slayer, pretty much.
And he produced the final Black Sabbath album, too.
Yeah, so he knows about rock and metal and stuff. He likes all kinds. He can do the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, Jay-Z, and Metallica.
And Eminem.
That has got to be one of the... And then interview for a whole series with Paul McCartney. So, I think that he might be my hero.
And all the Johnny Cash American recordings.
Oh my God.
Tom Petty's Wildflowers.
Tom Petty, all that stuff.
Red Hot Chili Peppers' entire discography from Mother's Milk on. Or no, from Blood Sugar Sex Magic forward. So Metallica pairing with Rick Rubin, when I heard they were doing that, I'm like, this is going to be good. And then The Day That Never Comes was the first single that came out, and it was great. And it had a part that just thrashed in the middle, and it was great. But the song on the album, Unforgiven 3, which is the other Western-y sounding one you're talking about. Unforgiven 3 is so good. And the Judas Kiss is one of my favorites on there. But the song I always throw at people that have said Metallica's not metal anymore, and they don't have anything since Cliff, all that. I say listen to All Nightmare Long. That song is metal. Mature audiences, that song is metal as fuck. It is heavy as hell. Has an amazing metal breakdown in the middle. And the music video is heavy metal as hell. It is creepy and unsettling and just ugly and grungy. And but it's everything that's great about Metallica in one song. I
want to say it like this.
Get goosebumps talking about it.
For sure. Yeah. I know I can hear it. But I just want to say, like, this one, along with the next two, I just want to say they all, to me, have a different sound, almost in a different age of their career or whatever. If you're going like the beginning, middle, and end, if we're breaking it down like that, we got the perfect three. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
For that purpose.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, like, I feel like by listening to all these songs, to me, and I know the music is a huge deal, but I think some of these suffered from production, and which made me just feel like, God, man, if this sounded better, it would sound better. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I know it sounds stupid, but if it sounded better, maybe the music would sound better. Maybe some of the melodies would come through better. I agree. I agree. So that's why, So that's why Justice for All was lower. Is that same reason? Well, that's why Kill 'Em All is at the bottom. And this is perfect. Like I said, if you want to go, like I said, he produced Slayer and heavy metal bands. So him working with this band in a thrash, setting, his production is so dry anyway. You know how Rick Rubin's dry. So you're hearing everything. You're not going to hear a lot of reverb and a lot of echo shit going on. You're going to hear the instruments like they're playing live. Yep. And even if it wasn't live, you're going to hear it like it sounds like it's live with Rick Rubin, So that's why, to me, this album, along with the great songs and the great production, is in my top three. We'll say our top three is pretty much the same for sure. Our top four, or no, three. You're right. I can math. You're right. You're right. My bad. You're right. Top three, Number two. Now, these last two are as controversial as the first two. Many people will have different opinions. And again, I said I was only going to talk about it once, but whatever, I lied. This is our opinion. This is just what we like. Subjective. All music is subjective. Number two, Master of Puppets. I'm showing the cover. Master of Puppets. I gotta say that,
is a masterpiece.
I gotta say that when I was DJing and playing like with in between your band, they would play on with Crop Circle and different other bands, and people would want me to play metal in between. I'm telling you, I'm looking at all the songs on here. I played every one of these songs.
Yeah.
Oh, there's only 8, but I played every one of these songs. A couple of instrumental, whatever. Is that instrumental on here?
Orion. Yep.
Orion is So I played every song on here, including Orion. So that doesn't really mean anything. I'm just saying there's a lot of good songs.
There really are.
There's a lot of good songs on here.
Master of Puppets, Battery, Sanitarium, Leper Messiah is one of my favorites on the record. And it wasn't even a single. Mm-hmm. Lars counts the 5 count. It's weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's weird. But and it's Cliff Burton at his best, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's got amazing guitar harmonies in solos between Kirk and James. The Master of Puppets dueling guitar solo thing, it gives me chills every time. It is a masterpiece of an album and an amazing snapshot of where the band was in that era. If you wanted to find the Cliff Burton era of Metallica, Master of Puppets is your album. Now, Ride the Lightning is great, but Master of Puppets is just amazing. And it's getting a new resurgence now, thanks to Stranger Things. So great masterpiece of a record. And Brett's iPad fell for those of you watching at home. So
I'm here.
We finish off our list, and everybody knows because there's only one album left.
What is it? What would it be?
The top album. There it is. The self-titled album.
Such a glare, you can't.
Affectionately referred to as the Black Album by the fans. Metallica's self-titled album, Metallica, is, in my opinion, and yours as well.
For sure.
By yours, I mean the Hitman's, not people listening. It is, in my opinion, the greatest piece of work they've ever made. To date.
To me, in my opinion as well.
Me too.
Yes.
Every song is masterfully orchestrated, arranged, produced, mixed, performed. It literally contains the greatest guitar solo Kirk Hammett has ever recorded, in my opinion, which is The Unforgiven.
Mm-hmm.
That guitar solo is what guitar solos should sound like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a great video online, and it's from this thing called The Year and a Half in the Life of, which talks about the making of the Black Album. And Kirk was trying all these solos and just doing the what you call the bumblebee guitar and all the wheedly deedly crazy sweep picking and all that crap. and Bob Rock keeps making fun of him. And he's like, all right, well, now that you warmed up, can you play the solo already? And Kirk's like, I did. Right. He's like, no, you didn't. And he does it again, and it's the same kind of crap. And finally, he goes, come on, Guitar Player of the Year. Because he got ranked as Guitar Player of the Year that year. And Kirk got so mad that he ripped one more solo, and that's the solo that's on the record. Yeah.
He got him so worked up, to get a good take,
And every song, even the songs that weren't the hits, and there were hits, because you had Enter Sandman, you had Sad But True, you had Of Wolf and Man, you had Wherever I May Roam, you had Nothing Else Matters. Like, it just, anyway, would you ever
wonder why it is that people have mediocre success and whatever, and there's some okay songs, whatever, then you have this album where like 7 out of the 12 songs are hits.
Yeah.
Why is it that they go from one album where they have like, there's a couple good radio friendly songs on there, whatever, to having this?
I can tell you the secret
comes from.
The secret is a producer.
Well, yeah.
Metallica was self-produced for 4 records. Bob Rock saw them at a concert and said, you guys haven't put on a record what you're capable of yet. And he talked them into being their producer, and they went in the studio, and Bob Rock, and the wonderful thing a producer does, he is the one that's not afraid to tell you when what you're doing is sucking.
Yeah.
And Bob knew how to produce this band for, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4 albums after that.
Okay, can I ask you, if you're saying that, can I ask a question then?
Yeah.
How come he didn't tell him on this then? How come he didn't say anything on this one, man? He didn't tell him about the bass or the drum.
Saint
How come
Anger,
he didn't tell him? Saint Anger, man. I'm holding Saint Anger up wrong way.
No, you're the right way the last time. You're right.
Okay, it looked wrong. Yeah. It looked wrong. I don't know why. But so, yeah, why is that then?
Well, Bob Rock, he ain't their producer anymore, is he?
I mean, don't you think Bob Rock would have said, like, man, that's cool on like 2 or 3 songs, but I don't know like every one of them. Okay, I'm done. I'm ranting on that one too much.
No, you're fine. I think what happened, Metallica, if you've seen the movie Some Kind of Monster, they made a lot of goofs. They had that stupid therapist that really was kind of a turd. And they had Bob playing on the record, so Bob kind of became a yes man in some ways. But for the Black Album and Load and Reload, Bob, production-wise, brought out things in that band that nobody knew existed. And the Black Album not only yielded some of their biggest hits and stuff they still play to this day, it brought a whole world of people into the world of heavy metal. Once again, pioneering a genre. Now, Kill 'Em All was the invention of thrash metal in some respects. But the Black Album was the pioneering of mainstream metal. And
I was going to say, is it called pop metal? I was going to call it pop metal.
I wouldn't call it pop because it's still dirty and grungy and, it's still metal.
Yeah. You're true.
But because Sad But True,
yeah, that makes sense.
Holier Than Thou is so metal and like it's
Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah.
Nothing Else Matters. I love that song, man.
Which last year Elton John on Howard Stern said Nothing Else Matters is one of the greatest songs ever written.
That is cool.
When Metallica did
Elton
their
John
interview,
said that.
Yeah, they were promoting the 30th anniversary of the Black Album. They had Miley Cyrus on there to do Nothing Else Matters with them, and Howard surprised them with Elton John because they didn't know Elton was calling in, and he said that. And you look over, and James is crying because Elton John, who is a hero to literally every musician in the world, just said that their song is one of the best songs in the world. What do you do to that? What do you do with that?
Couldn't even imagine that. What I wanted to ask is maybe, I don't know if we're wrapping up here soon, but one thing that I wanted to ask is, I want to just touch on this because it's always been a thing with me, is the sellout thing that people get irritated about.
Yes.
Because I feel like this is the one, if you're going to say they sold out, this would be the one where it happened, right? But here's what I'm thinking, like, this is what they want. They want the most amount of people that they can have to even not and just love them, but to be able to hear their music. And when you do that, you're going to have to be a little bit, like we're talking about, maybe just a little bit mainstream or a little bit. A lot of times you don't have to compromise. They come to you, and they already did that one time by inventing, thrash metal.
Yeah.
But so they already did that once. So, if I'm going to give them a break, if they just want to ride it out for a minute, they invented a genre. Go ahead and give them some music that like the mass majority is going to be able to hear. Because it's going to be on videos for the younger people. It's going to be on classic rock radio, along with the, so the 50-year-old's going to be able to hear it too.
Yeah.
So this was for all. It reached a lot of different age groups. And I know there's a lot of different styles. I mean, for production, Bob Rock has always had a certain style to me.
Yeah.
He is like, to me, he is what Mutt Lange was to AC/DC.
Yeah.
In my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, he's their guy.
He's what Daniel Lanois was to you too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If that's what, I'm sure that, they were
what
liking
Phil
the
Ramone
success
was to Billy Joel.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Quincy was to Michael.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's, people will talk crap about it, but
it just bums me out. It bums me out.
Jason Newsted had the best reply to it, and was on the Metallica Behind the Music. He said, "They said, what do you call it when people? What do you think when people call you a sellout?" He goes, "Are we sellouts? Yes, we sell out every single night."
Yeah.
They found a recipe that worked, and at the end of the day, they're happy. They're making stuff that makes the larger majority of their fans happy, and they get to keep creating music that they love. So where's the downside? You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, we're going to do discography on Nickelback next time. On Hanging with the Hitman.
Look at this photograph. And then after that, we're going to get into Barry Manilow's.
And then right after that, I think we should do a double back-to-back with Creed.
Man, all three of them.
How about we just put them all together?
Creed.
Who else is there? There's Creed.
3 days theory of a nickel Seetherback cherry.
Creed.
I don't know. They all sound the same.
They do.
So yeah, we're not doing that next episode. So okay. I'm sorry. So we hope you enjoyed our rundown of Metallica here. I'm a humongous fan, as obvious, and I thank you, Brett, for entertaining my wacky idea.
I am what do you call that? Probably a couch. No, what do you call that when you're just kind of a casual listener?
Yeah, but
I bought them for work, but I listen to them, and
But that's why this is cool, because you offer a different viewpoint than me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that makes it, a conversation.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Our list of 12 Metallica albums ranked in what we believe is the way we would rank them. I'll put it up on the screen for those of you watching. And that's going to do it for our episode today. We hope you go check out the new album, 72 Seasons. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think of our list, what you think of the new album. And hopefully we didn't make too many Metallica fans mad with our rankings. But, at the end of the day, music is subjective, and there's something there for everybody, man.
True that.
So until next time, my name is Todd Gilbert.
And I'm Brett Fortney, the Hitman.
And we will see you all on the flip side.
Toodles.